going to the beauty parlor, darling. But I'm leaving you with your favorite friend, Roger. He's going to take very, very good care of you. Because if he doesn't, he's going back to the science lab.
Cut! What the hell is wrong with that take?
Nothing with you, baby Herman. You were great. You were perfect. You were better than perfect. Just Roger. He keeps blowing his lines.
Hello everybody, it's me, Colton Johnson with Empty Popcorn Bucket Productions. And we're back with another retro review. It's been a while since I've made one of these. I think the last one was, ironically from the same director as this movie, was Back to the Future Part 2. So I decided, let's go visit another classic from the 1980s, which is Who Framed Roger Rabbit? This one is one of my all-time favorite movies from the 1980s, and honestly one of my favorite Disney films of all time. I think this movie is fantastic, but you'll hear more about that in a second. Alright, so here's some information that I came up with for Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Who Framed Roger Rabbit was released in 1988 and revolutionized the blend of live action and animation. There's been other movies in the past that has also done this, but this enhanced it a lot more. We have movies like Song of the South, which is controversial, The Reluctant Dragon, as well as the beloved classic Mary Poppins, which I will do something, but I have a review on that. It's actually one of my most popular videos on my channel. This is based off of Gary K. Wolfe's 1981 novel, Who Censored Roger Rabbit, which had a darker detective noir tone. I actually want to get around to read this, which I don't do book reviews, but I'll probably get around to it. Disney acquired the film rights pretty early because of the source material, but it was stalled until the mid to late 80s. Robert Zemekis jumped on the project in 1982, but was initially rejected based on his early film work. But after the success of Back to the Future, because it's the greatest movie of all time, Disney decided, hey, let's do that one Roger Rabbit movie. Filming took place in Los Angeles, as well as the Elstree Studio in England. Over 82,000 hand-drawn animators were used to make the toons interact seamlessly with live action. That's pretty impressive, and shout out to animators for making that possible. Charles Fleischer, the voice of Roger Rabbit, wore a rabbit suit on set to help the actors visualize Roger. I think that is hilarious, and this actor put so much into this character, but I'll talk about that in a minute. Spielberg negotiated a deal between Disney and Warner Bros., allowing Mickey Mouse and Bugs Bunny to appear together. And a little background about this fun fact. So you see the scene in the movie with the piano of Daffy Duck and Donald Duck. So a similar deal was with that, as well as the scene with Mickey Mouse and Bugs Bunny. The only way Disney or Warner Brothers agreed to allow Disney to use their characters was if Mickey Mouse and Bugs Bunny appeared on screen for the same amount of screen time. And that's what happened. This movie was a huge success, winning 3 Academy Awards, as well as helping revive interest in animation. And this credited influence into what eventually became the Disney Renaissance. So, enough with the history. Let's talk about Who Framed Roger Rabbit. So I got a chance to rewatch it. I actually watched it earlier today because it's been a while and I wanted to do this video. So, Roger Rabbit is about a cartoon rabbit from Toontown. How it is in the world, these toons are actors and they portray in these cartoons, whatever. Then there's this detective, Eddie Valiant, who gets put on this case to figure out this whole debacle involving a toon studio as well as a certain figure involved, and a lot of things occur. Roger Rabbit gets framed for the murder of Mr. Acme, who owns the gag factory, and eventually it all comes together with this villain character who wants to bring Roger to justice. We later find out also Judge Doom is played by Christopher Lloyd, who famously is Doc Brown, and he also does a phenomenal job in this movie. Same with Bob Hoskins, who plays Eddie Valiant. But trouble ensues, and we figure out Judge Doom is up to no good. And I don't want to spoil the movie because there's a lot of fun little twists, but this movie is phenomenal, and I want to break it down into just a few things, okay? For one, the story. I love the story of this movie. It gets me every time. I think it's simple, but it's fun, and there's a lot of complexity to it if you dive deeper. It's like a parody noir, and it's whimsical and it's silly, but it's exciting to see the growth of the characters within the story, which that brings me up to my next point is characters. We have Roger Rabbit, who's a whimsical, cartoon, annoying rabbit, and I think he's phenomenal, and the voice actor for him does such a great job, and the lengths that the actor took to make sure that the film was having a great production, and him coming in suit to make sure they have the correct character interactions is awesome. Also, like, I just like to imagine like these kind of movies where a character has to interact with things that aren't there. I think that idea of that is super funny, but the fact that he was there is really exciting and really cool. Bob Hoskins' character, Eddie Valiant, is fantastic, and we get to see his character grow throughout the movie as well. Another standout is Judge Doom, who his performance is invigorating. I think it's fantastic. I love Christopher Lloyd in literally almost everything he's in, so I might be a little bit biased. Overall, the animation in this movie is phenomenal. It plays homage to the classic animation. This movie is set in the 1940s, and so like we see a lot of characters from that time period. What else can I talk about? So there's a little, if I want to be nitpicky about things, there's characters that appear in the movie that I'm like, you don't exist yet, technically speaking. But if you think about it, like Alice in Wonderland, you see Tweedledee and Tweedledum in this movie at like the very end. But like, if you think about it, that movie didn't release, because this movie is like 1947, I believe, is when it takes place, if I'm correct. And that movie didn't come out until like 1952, if I'm correct. But I mean, Disney technically was on backlog because of the war, and so it was probably in production, and that's complex and doesn't really matter. That's a nitpick. But beyond the nitpick, I love this movie. I can literally quote like 85% of this movie. Like, sit me down and I can like verbatim say most of the lines, which is pretty fun. It has a lot of fun gags, a lot of silly moments, and like as an adult, this movie, it's geared as like a kid's movie, but I would say it's more closer to like a family movie. But there's a lot of adult jokes in this movie, so like watching it as an adult, I got a kick out of it and thought it was really fun. But like, there's a lot of jokes as a kid that like completely went over my head. But as an adult, I appreciate them more and actually have a lot of fun with them. But overall, Roger Rabbit is one of my favorites. It also inspired Roger Rabbit cartoon spin at Disneyland, which is a fun ride. I think it's a little underrated and actually is pretty fun, and you get spin around. And it's exciting. Anyways, I give this movie a 5 out of 5. It's very biased that I say that it's a 5 out of 5 because it's one of my childhood favorites, but why would I be reviewing it if I don't like it? So, yeah. that's it for my retro review today. I have a few movie reviews coming out. I'm most likely planning to see Death of the Unicorn next Tuesday, and then a Minecraft movie next Saturday. So stay tuned for those reviews. I still really want to hit those 200 subscribers, so we have a few more days that we can hit that. If not, that goal will go into April. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful day, and like, subscribe, and share. Bye!